This is Rudy, my Class C RV, not to be confused with the SS Latrexa, who you may recognize from these videos. She clocks in at a massive 31 feet, while Rudy is a much cuter 21 feet. He was born in 2005, and this is his birth mother, Emma, who I bought him from. These are his innards, or at least what they looked like before. Ew, am I right? Just kidding, I thought he looked fine. Really kind of liked it, actually, but I had to make a video about something, and there were some parts of him that were a little bit decrepit, so makeover time! My vision for the RV was essentially this Nintendo Switch. I wanted to be able to play Fortnite out in the RV without the game system and the interior clashing, so... Chapter 2. Cleaning. After giving the whole RV a deep, metaphorical colon cleanse, I addressed the ceiling leak, by the way there was ceiling leakage, by ripping out all the old caulking and replacing it with new caulking, emphasis on the L in caulking, I hate that word. I began the painting process by unscrewing all the cabinets and removing the drawer pulls, then priming everything and painting the entire kitchen section yellow because I wanted something brightening but also warm. And I was staunchly averse to the color white because every single RV remodel on the internet does white cabinets. Like this girl I came across, she literally painted every conceivable surface white, but I'm just not that kind of basic. So I went with yellow. Another thing I noticed about that super annoying basic girl is that she used very modern hardware, so I went with the most antique looking hardware I could find. These drawer pulls were 50 cents at Restore, making it a very inexpensive way to transform the whole look. Look how boring they were before, look how cute they are after, and look how happy you'll be with the results.
I'd like to take a quick break to talk about this week's sponsor. I'll give you a chance to guess who it is first. Hint, what's sweet and rhymes with honey? Honey.
I meant to say money. What's sweet and rhymes with money?
This week's sponsor is honey.
I love honey.
Not that kind of honey, though you could use honey to save money on honey. Honey is a free browser extension.
I love extensions.
Not that kind of extension. Look, we've all shopped online and we've all seen that tantalizingly vacant promo code box. What honey does is it scours the internet for different promo codes and applies the best one to your product, saving you as much money as possible.
Can I use it to buy hair extensions?
Yep.
What about lash extensions? What about leg extensions?
Honey works for over 30,000 online stores. I use them to save money on clothes, sewing supplies, and even flights. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button drops down, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a second as Honey searches the internet for the best promo code. If Honey finds a working coupon, watch the price drop. For instance, I saved over $8 on this pair of sewing scissors. Honey has over 17 million members whom they've saved over $2 billion. If you don't have Honey, you might as well be feeding your money to the toilet. It's literally free and installs in seconds. You are 2 clicks away from oodles and savings. By getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting my channel. So get Honey free at
joinhoney.com/Micarah.
Thanks again, Honey, for sponsoring my video.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am back and more inspired than ever to get this thing done.
Back?
You exclaim, confusedly.
But Micarah, you were just here.
Well, I explain, knowingly. That was just an old camera illusion, a trick of the trade, if you will. I actually spent this last week chaperoning a youth group trip at Myrtle Beach, as denoted by my fabulous sun-kissed tan. Seems to have faded really quickly, actually. It was an awesome week. Met a subscriber, hung out with her. I had a great time with some teenagers. Let me just say, teenagers, you guys are the best. But like, yes, also the worst, but the very best. And spending a week on the beach really made me realize that I want to get this thing totally ready to travel, to take places, especially a beach, maybe some mountains. It'd be really cool if I could drive it to Ireland, but I don't think that would be possible because of travel restrictions at this time. So let's...
I love the yellow, but I don't want to do the yellow on everything because then it will look like macaroni and cheese. Threw up on the whole RV, so cream it is.
While I painted the non-kitchen cabinets cream, Courtney read to me about Marie Antoinette or something.
As the last Tsar of Russia, Nicholas II.
Do you believe in Russia? You think it's a real place?
I think so.
The trip I was just on with all those teenagers, I said something about the moon landing, and none of them believe the moon landing happened.
Really?
None. I mean, I don't know. I can't say I believe one way or the other, but among the youngsters, it seems to be universally acknowledged as false. And none of them believe in the Loch Ness Monster either.
Crazy kids. Wow.
Do you believe in the moon landing?
I thought you were in a time lapse.
Before I do those, I know that I need to prime them, but I just don't want to prime them. It's one of those like primal, childish things. Primal. So I'm gonna try to like manipulate myself and make the idea of priming a little bit more exciting. Prime time. Priming is prime time.
While priming, I brainstormed ways to make the painting process faster. Then later, while kayaking, I looked at my dad and had an epiphany. The older you are, the slower things go. So I enlisted the help of a 12-year-old.
Is this good?
Yeah. And don't worry, this wasn't exploitation. I didn't make him do this. He totally just wanted to, of his own volition. After I bribed him and told him I'd let him play Fortnite on my Switch. Now the exploited one here is JJ. I don't know what he got out of any of this, but he just kept helping me. And what he's working on here is a cover for the skylight because when my friends and I go on trips, we often sleep in Walmart parking lots, and those can be really bright. So in the past, we always just had to get on the roof and throw a jacket over the skylight, but now we have this. And by the way, JJ didn't really get nothing out of this whole experience. He did get some Chick-fil-A. And no, that is not a cherry, but a cherry tomato in his milkshake. He helped in a whole slew of ways that I don't have the slightest... I don't know what he was doing. I don't know. He recorded it. Thanks for that, JJ, but I couldn't begin to tell you what he was doing. But I'm super grateful for his help and his generosity. He even brought over toys for us to play with.
I feel like that was very anticlimactic.
I'll speed it up. It's not very fun, JJ. Why did you get this?
This thing is not very fun, so I'm gonna do JJ a favor. I'm gonna throw this away. I'm gonna buy him a hoverboard. Maybe I'll buy him a unicycle. Oh, I'm buying him a unicycle.
But that would have to wait because there was too much to be done, including using this super cool new paint tool that I found specifically for trims and edges.
Oh wow, that doesn't work that well.
And here you'll see me doing, I don't know, it was just a good angle of me, so I threw it in. This clip is pixelated on purpose to remind you all of the 2004 Disney movie Pixel Perfect. Actually, it's just pixelated because it was shot on my dad's phone. Here he is making me a little cubby for my roller skates. He did it so quickly and perfectly, though I did go in and switch the hinges to the bottom just for easier access because I frequently stay at Walmart parking lots, which are basically gigantic roller rinks, so I need to access my skates quite often.
So lately I've been doing this thing where I've been waking up at 10 a.m. as opposed to my usual 11:30. I'm thriving. I said thriving. I'll look better in an hour.
Okay, it's been an hour. I covered all my zits with fake beauty marks and we are ready to go.
We need more light, so now's a good time to attack these curtains.
These always make me feel like I'm in an action movie. Garrett, we were just playing pretend. No one's after us.
Basically, I just traced the old ones onto a sun-blocking fabric, covered that with muslin, and glued some pom-poms onto it.
Whoa, slow down.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
Just gentle, consistent effort.
New day, same shirt. Now, unlike yesterday, I didn't sleep 10 hours last night, so I'm not going to be as happy and... Right. Yeah. Well... I'm gonna reupholster the dinette.
Here's the deal. I was initially torn between these two fabrics, a cow print one and then this big placemat from IKEA that I decided was kind of bland, but I wanted to put it up to a vote anyway to make people feel included, but I wanted them to choose the cow print one. So I used subtle psychology to subliminally trick my followers into choosing the fabric that I liked better. And what do you know? They fell for it. Look at this drastic difference in the screenshot of the voting result. Okay, so I actually forgot to get a screenshot of the results, but that's because I was distracted because I was blindsided by a tragedy. Like, I'm talking a betrayal of the worst kind.
Joe came over and told me that he passed Courtney and Ruthie
At a coffee place.
I checked my Snapchats.
I never got an invitation.
Let's go confront them.
Well, well, well. So you think you can just go to coffee places and not even invite me, huh?
I sent you a picture, therefore that's inviting you.
Wait, you did?
30 seconds ago.
So here's my plan for revenge on Courtney and Ruthie. See those buckets of paint on top of that building? Well, when they walk underneath, I'm going to dump them on them. Sometimes it's hard to keep your friends in line. Like when I got back to the RV and I caught JJ snacking on wires or something, which, okay, I know robots gotta eat too, but like, let's get back to work, you know? Meanwhile, I'm over here doing the really complicated stuff, like putting cushions on seats, as well as painting all of my knickknacks cream and covering a trash can. How am I gonna explain this to you? I covered a trash can in twine. Mostly. It took a long time, and then I ran out of twine.
This is where I ran out of twine.
I then hung a mirror so that all of my friends who stay in the RV will think that I have a framed picture of them in there and feel really special, and then hopefully, like, you know, invite me to coffee with them every once in a while. Then I faked a fancy antique look by making gold details on my cabinets. Pro tip, use painter's tape if you like being disappointed. That's what I get for trying too hard not to be basic, so let's be super basic and we'll get one of those cute, cheesy maps of America and mark off all the places that this RV has been. Except I made a mistake and accidentally wrote Pennsylvania, which was a problem because...
I've never taken this to Pennsylvania.
So obviously I had to fix that by going to Pennsylvania. While I was there, I had my first ever Philly cheesesteak, and this was what I thought about it.
Oh my gosh, that's good!
I got some inspo for my next project at a portrait museum and went to the church that George Washington and John Adams both used to attend. I also saw this old thing, which is named after that really catchy insurance company and the most pretentious Disney princess, and saw a site that is really important to our nation's history.
Behind me, you'll see Independence Hall. This area is famous for Nicolas Cage running across the roof, escaping Sean Bean's gunfire, and getting a clue. That is what this area is famous for.
Now for literally my favorite part of the whole renovation, I made these little cup holders that you can put a mug in on the road and they won't go anywhere, so that's great. Now moving on to the bedroom, I wanted it to look kind of separate from the rest of the RV, so I was going to put wallpaper up, but I hate wallpapering, so I used these stencils, the same $2 gold craft paint that I used on the cabinets, and a paint roller from the Dollar Tree. For the fridge, I used a different stencil, going in first with yellow and then going over top of it with gold. Next, I took this pesky eyesore and painted it gold because the aesthetic must be pleased. Above it, I hung my map of the states, which is now finally accurate. Did I seriously put Mississippi twice? For the backsplash in the kitchen, I had help from my friend Chantel. Fun fact about her, she is from the exotic land known as, well, you'll hear in a second.
Sorry.
We used some leftover stickers from my friend Courtney's staircase and reinforced them with Mod Podge because I know this stuff peels off over time. Then it was time to try to get my fake fruit back from Chantel's daughter.
Put it in the bag. Throw it in the basket.
I know, but it's not real. I'm too irresponsible for real fruit.
After she finally complied, I turned this $2 rug into a roll-up curtain, as well as turning these $2 placemats into roll-up curtains. Now to replace that oppressively dreary curtain around the bed. I didn't have enough of any single fabric to make the whole curtain, but was determined to not go out and buy more. So what I came up with was a two-toned curtain that was sturdy enough for grommets on top, but light and airy enough on the bottom for puppet shows. It's really important since there's no TV in there.
Something's weird about this leaf.
This collapsible $2 spare chair has gotten a lot of use in the RV over the past year, but I really hate the color, so I utilized more of those $2 IKEA placemats to cover it. Then I had to take a break to shop for some groceries, some general homeowning necessities. Then we took the RV on a little day trip to a friend's house in Michigan just to get a feel for what was still lacking and what needed to be done.
Michigan roads.
While there, we made Christmas cookies and then spent all night playing hand soccer. And the sunset that night was mind-blowing, almost as mind-blowing as my friend Alex's magic tricks. Where'd it go? I really don't know. Back at the RV, while I did some detail painting, little Ariel and JJ worked on replacing a knob. Meanwhile, my dad painted the bathroom. We all worked at the same time because teamwork makes the dream work.
Doing it. Got it.
Then a bunch of us went to this skate park. I don't remember exactly why this footage is in here. I know I had a reason, maybe some greater moral lesson or... Oh, this is why. I wanted you to see this clip of JJ. Watch this. I believe it's important to do things that make us nervous every day, and the skate park is a great place for that, from the Gen Z kids who stare at you, to the steep ramps, to the questionable free snacks you'll find on the ground. Maybe it was hanging out with Courtney and JJ's mom earlier that day that helped us with the whole facing nervousness thing. She dared to try on her wedding dress for the first time in 29 years, and might I say, she looked fantastic. Now you're probably asking yourself, what does all of this have to do with the RV? And to that I say, I'm not taking questions right now, so put your hand down and wait until you're called upon. And for your patience, I'll reward you by explaining how to make a magnetizable table. This is important because then you can just put magnets on the bottom of like candles or anything you don't want slipping off the table while you're bumping along the road. First, find the sheet metal aisle.
Now if you do the magnet test. I say it like that because Magneto, he's German. Oh, no cigar.
Stinger.
Yes, cigar. Now we gotta do the sound test, and you know it's appropriate metal if it sounds like the intro to Dua Lipa's Levitating. No. That will work.
Chew off the edges of the metal till it fits your table perfectly, glue it in place, then basically build a 2-story gem on top of it. To keep your table from looking like a scrapyard, cover it with contact paper. Next, drill magnets into the bottom of chess pieces, as playing chess on the road is the main reason you actually wanted to make this table. And even if you're not making this table, it's a good idea to put magnets on the bottom of the chess pieces because, well, okay, has this ever happened to you?
Oh no. Oh,
Oh no. You died.
I'll get it.
No.
That's the power of Magneto tables. And look, you can never quit. Well guys, we are in the home stretch. All I have left to do is make a pillow to tie all the fabrics in together, maybe set up a shelf or two, and we're done. Do you have something to say? Huh?
After finishing the pillow, I went back into the RV and realized the floors were absolutely repulsive. Now blow on your screen to make it clean. Blow? Oh good, look at what a good cleaner you are. I hope you liked that little voice. That was my impression of Elmo. I ran out of clips of the makeover process. Must mean it's time for the gender reveal. the grand reveal. I just saw somebody's gender reveal post on Instagram, sorry.
I hope you like Tewers because it's my last name and because it's time for a tour, starting with the outside of the RV. We installed this backup camera, which is helpful. And this right here is for my moped, so that when you're traveling and you break down in the middle of nowhere, I've learned it's nice to have a mode of transportation. It's basically the same idea as those lifeboats that were on the side of the Titanic, you know, that you could only get into if you had a child or if you pretended you had a child. Not naming any names, mainly because I can't remember that character's name. Let me show you the rack in the front.
This is the front rack, so that anybody who sees this RV thinks a big manly hunting man with big burly guns lives there. I'm sure you're very anxious to see the inside of the RV, so without further ado, get your butt in here. Just gonna say that.
Welcome to the inside of the RV. Now to our right or left, I don't know the difference, is our dinette. This is the dinette.
Back here we have our extra chair that we can pull out when we have a dinner guest. This is my bedroom. Up here is where I keep my 18th century costumes. My sewing machine is back here. My bed is where I sleep. I'd show you how I do that, but I've actually already made a tutorial, link in the description.
Now you're probably wondering, where does Garion sleep? Well, this here turns into a bed, but Garion doesn't sleep here. However, if a human does, as well as 2 humans in the top bed and 2 in the back bed, this RV could sleep 5 people. 6 if you have a friend that grew up going to survival camps and likes sleeping on the floor, like JJ.
Up here by what is basically Courtney's room, we have these cabinets with outdoor supplies, books, and games.
So this was a sink right here, but since there's literally a sink like 3 feet away, I decided to just tear it out and make this the alcove for my tiny wood stove. Now, I bought a little wood burning stove for my other RV, and it came in several months late. It was extremely overpriced, and it didn't do anything that it was supposed to do. So I bought another one, the exact same brand, for this RV, because it's like Einstein says, insanity is when you just refuse to try again. Right below is where we keep all the firewood. So
This is my real fruit. Seriously, actual real fruit. See? I don't know why people like fruit. It's really not even good.
what's that? You had too many bananas and now you have to pee? Well, here's my bathroom.
This is my shower, and right over here we have my wall of postcards.
This is from when I went to Laura Ingalls' house in Minnesota. This is from when I went to Minneapolis. This is from, and that one's from Philadelphia.
This is my cultured side, more cultured.
This RV has a lot of storage space. Take, for instance, my closet. Look at how deep this thing is. Sometimes I keep a beach chair in here, and sometimes my friend Ruthie likes to hide in here when we're on little trips and try to scare us and make us go, oh no, where's Ruthie? But we don't usually notice she's missing, and she gets bored and comes out on her own eventually. This is also where I keep all my hangout clothes. This is the closet where I keep all of my foldable things, so shorts and pants, tank tops and t-shirts. This is a picture of a girl that I found in a Walmart parking lot, so if this is you, you're welcome for making you famous. These are my brother's dogs, Bera and Moki. Just kidding. They're actually, this is a picture I found in a Goodwill frame, in this frame. But what's crazy is it actually looks exactly like my brother's dogs, Bera and Moki. Like, it's crazy. All dogs look alike, so.
People often ask me, Micarah, how do you stay in such great shape? Well, let me show you my secret. It's my roids. These are my Polaroids, pictures of all the places I've been with people I love in this RV. Seeing the people I love inspires me to stay in great shape, so that's how I stay in good, that's how the roids keep me in shape. So over here, this is like a big cooler. I gave it a nickname.
I'm kind of quirky.
I call it my fridge because you'll feel the air coming out of it. It's kind of frigid, so I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
Up here is my pantry. It's where I keep
Mainly just Vienna sausages and steak and shake chili.
I don't cook, so that is pretty much my go-to meal.
This is the guest house, and that is a mirror, very important to have because
birds are narcissists.
This is my reading nook. It's also where I would play Fortnite, but I don't get Wi-Fi out here, so.
There you have it. That was the whole RV tour. If you liked this video, don't forget to call your mom or dad and tell them that you love them.